Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at the DLX Iron Man Mark 42 by THREEZERO. And before I get this out of the box, if you want to see more of these, I did this one and this one. Also, we'll mention this was a sample sent on to me directly by THREEZERO themselves. If you want to know more about it, I will throw a link down there in the description so you can find out more. Now let's check it out. So jumping right on into the aesthetics with that full 360-degree spin, and as usual with the THREEZERO release, this is absolutely phenomenal and perfect looking. However, I will mention, this is essentially a color swap of the Iron Man Mark 42, which canonically, that's exactly what it is. But that does mean figure-wise, this is pretty much exactly what we would have seen before in the DLX Iron Man Mark 42 review. So let's speed on through this. So yeah, visually this is exactly the same as what we would have seen before besides the color scheme. That means we've got a lot more gold than we had before, as this particular suit was in Iron Man 3. It is nice that they have split the gold into two shades. One is slightly more orange, like the one you can see up top there, and this really does make all of the detail pop nicely. If it didn't pop enough already, this thing is gorgeous. I'll also mention that this thing does have LED functionality, just like we would have seen with the Mark 43. That is some LEDs inside of the head you just need to throw some batteries into, and some LEDs in the arc reactor in the chest you also need to throw some batteries into. As you can tell, I'm using some old footage here because I ain't got no batteries. But besides that, gorgeous. I will complain about one aspect though, a seam line right in the middle of the face. That's a little bit of a no-no for me, but besides that, this is absolutely gorgeous and you'd never notice that from a distance. Let's check out what it comes with. So now jumping into the accessories, and here's everything the Iron Man Mark 42 comes with, which is exactly what we would have seen before. That, of course, is the Infinity Saga stand, a whole multitude of hands, the vast majority of these are widespread besides the fists that are on him already. And then we've got another bunch of optional parts, including thruster, repulsor effect parts, and we've got a couple of missiles as well. So the stand right here is exactly what we would have seen from this line so far. This has a lot of moving parts, all of which do actually have screws attached into them, so if this is too tight or too loose, you can just throw a screwdriver into those and tighten it up, so that is really handy. In order to attach this, you just pull the back off his gold titanium diaper like so, shove the stand right into that square butthole in there. I said get in there. Come on. There we go. This stand holds on quite well. I find sometimes it might droop a little bit. Once again, like I said, you can tighten those up before popping them on your shelf and having a little bit of an accident. However, I would advise caution while actually moving these around because they can twist, they might flop over, and definitely don't hold them from down here while moving them around. I've had a couple of Iron Man related accidents, actually, usually War Machine, or should I say Iron Patriot. Yeah, self-explanatory. These stands definitely work, but they're not the biggest fans of being moved around. So taking a look at each of the accessories one by one. First off, we've got those missiles for in the arm. To attach these, you just knock this flap off the side of the arm just like so. It attaches on like this, and this is incredibly detailed, just like we would have seen before. And the missile in there is absolutely perfectly crafted. Looking beautiful. So when it comes to the repulsor hands that we have in here, we've got a total of 4 different pairs. The only difference between all of these is they either have the repulsor segment in the hand or a hole, and the angle is slightly different between 2. So basically, we've got 2 variants of angle and 2 variants of having hole. So these hands attach on super simply. It's a double ball joint attachment, so that means there's a ball joint sticking out of the wrist. You just pop the hand on, it popped on perfectly for me, no issue whatsoever. And when these are attached, to get the effects on, you just pop them into the 3mm holes in the palm of the hands and into the base of the feet. These hold in perfectly, slot in perfectly, and look absolutely awesome. So once again, it is essentially the exact same set of accessories that you do see across this particular line, and there is what Iron Man will look like in a pose, with those thrusters burning and missile ready to fire. So now finally onto the articulation on this right here, and just like we would have seen with the various figures from this line, this has a zinc alloy frame, so it's rock solid. This will not fall out of a pose, and it feels reassuringly stiff. So throwing this into the usual pose to test all of the articulation at once, and this thing absolutely demolishes it. It has some really cool features like a sliding armor part in the upper thigh, which gets it out of the way for those high kicks up to the front. That, as well as an extension in the upper leg, allows the legs to move up a lot to the front. We've got something similar up in the shoulders. The armor in the chest can actually slide out to the front to keep it out of the way of the arms when you're bringing them forward. So even when he's getting low down into this pose, he has absolutely no issue in destroying the pose. This looks so damn good, so dynamic, and nothing is compromised here. There's no gaps in the armor, nothing looking really figure-y or anything like that. This is a joy to pose. Let's try out some test poses. So yeah, this right here is an absolutely awesome posing experience. Like I mentioned, it is rock solid. All of the joints feel ridiculously strong. The range of motion on most of the joints on here is absolutely phenomenal, and it gets the full 10 out of 10 for me for posability. You may not pull off some like Revoltech Yamaguchi style over-the-top poses, but you will get anything you would have ever seen in any of the Iron Man movies without a single doubt. It feels good to pose, it looks absolutely fantastic in poses. These are some ridiculously premium figures right here. So yeah, that right there is it for the review. These are ridiculously high quality figures for every aspect. When it comes to the articulation, these are incredible and the build strength is ridiculous. When it comes to the overall looks, these look like they stepped right out of the movies. They look brilliant. The paintwork on these, the sculpt, fantastic. When it comes to the accessories, it is just the basics in a way. You've got a stand, which is always good, as well as a bunch of repulsor effects and some missiles. But yeah, what can I say? If you do like what you see, I threw a link down there in the description so you can check them out for yourself. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more reviews, and I'll see you next time. As always, this video and every video would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. And special thanks to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon and on the channel members, including Caleb Engelhart, Global Frequency Studios, Go Little Rockstar, Gunpla UK Limited, Joe, Kill Me Inc., Lawrence Seahack, RG59061, and Van Fawn.